You've all voted and the results are in. The top 10 must-add players for this week in fantasy baseball is coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello sports fans and welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. I've got your top 10 hottest players to pick up for week 9 in fantasy baseball. I want to thank all of you for casting 647 total votes, which was the driving force behind this week's list. Now, before I reveal the list, if you are a fan of this content, please smash that like button. And if you're new here and appreciate quality fantasy baseball insight, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that way you don't miss an episode. Also, keep an eye out for the polls this week on who you should be picking up ahead of week 10. Do you have a burning fantasy baseball question? Ask me on Q. Go to askmeonq.com/beattheodds, submit your question, and for a small fee, I will personalize a response and send it to your email. It's super easy to do, and it's a great way to get fantasy baseball advice while also supporting this channel. Now let's kick off this list at number 10. We've got David Fry, 57% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 10 runs scored, 4 homers, 9 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, a .524 average, and he took home 74% of the catcher's votes this week. All right, so I get the mindset that Fry is a super utility player, but for goodness sake, get this guy a regular job. I mean, David Fry has a .500 on-base percentage this season. Let that sink in for a minute. And yes, there is luck involved, but he's certainly earning his stripes with an 18.4% walk rate. He also plays catcher, first, third, and in the outfield, so it's only a matter of time that he gets all of those position eligibilities. This might just be the best bench bat that you could ask for. Let's go to number 9. We got Alek Manoah, 53% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got a win, 17 strikeouts, a 1.93 ERA, and a .75 whip. And he took home 24% of the pitcher's votes this week. So now, which version of Alek Manoah do you believe in? Is he the Cy Young Award winner runner-up from a couple seasons ago? Or is he the pitcher that struggled to an almost 6 ERA in 19 starts last year? Now, I don't think he's that good or that bad. He's somewhere in the middle. And his pitching line that we have seen to date is kind of what I would expect from him going forward. He's going to struggle with consistency, but he's worth picking up when he's hot. Moving on to number 8, we got Trevor McGill, 56% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 4 saves, 9 strikeouts, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. And he took home 53% of the closer's votes this week. The Fireballer is the clear option for saves in Milwaukee. McGill is a 2-pitch pitcher, blessed with a 99-mile-per-hour fastball, which he uses almost 70% of the time. Now, where we would usually see control issues with pitchers who throw that hard, McGill bucks that trend with a measly 5.4% walk rate. That will translate well as he continues to rack up saves until Devin Williams returns. Let's go to number 7. We got Colt Keith, 15% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 7 runs scored, a homer, 6 runs batted in, a stolen base at a .436 average. And he got 58% of the second baseman's votes. Although Keith's overall season line is quite uninspiring lately, he has shown us that he is capable of making contact against Major League pitching. His power will come, as he did hit 27 homers in the minors last year. So if you're looking for a backup infielder, Keith is very much still available in the majority of leagues, and I think we're going to see a workable second half from him. Let's go to number 6. We got Michael Kopech, 36% owned, a save, 7 strikeouts, 6.75 ERA, a 2 whip, 47% of the votes for closers this week. Now he's on the list again. Granted, he did get knocked around in his last appearance against Baltimore. He still has a stranglehold on the closer position. His fastball is a bit of a polarizing pitch. He can hit 102 miles per hour with it. Opponents are only hitting 186 against it. He throws it almost 80% of the time, but it also generated 4 homers and 59 at-bats. He needs a second-plus pitch to be elite. Let's go to number 5. We got Luke Raley, 35% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, he's got 7 runs scored, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, and a .333 average, and he took home 50% of the first baseman's votes this week. Raley's last 2 weeks are a microcosm of what he's capable of. He has a legit power-speed combo, but he does lack the discipline to make a consistent impact at the plate. If Raley was to lock in on the strike zone, he would truly be a fantasy asset. If he's able to get everyday at-bats, he could be a 2020 threat this season with a shot at both 80 runs scored and 80 runs batted in. Let's go to number 4. We got Alec Burleson, 33% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 7 runs scored, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, and a .375 average, and he took home 48% of the first baseman's votes this week. Although Burleson's and Luke Raley's numbers are very similar over the last 2 weeks, they couldn't be more different hitters at the plate. Now, I do subscribe to Burleson's contact hit tool, and he's finally showing off his ability to put bat on ball. Don't believe the speed, however. You'll catch the odd pitcher off guard, but he's not going to get you double-digit bags. Burleson makes a great pickup for those who need some help with their batting average. Moving on to number 3, we got Brenton Doyle, 60% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 8 runs scored, a homer, 4 runs batted in, 5 stolen bases, and a .205 average, and he took home 19% of the outfielders' votes this week. To say that Doyle has a green light on the bases is an understatement. He trails only Bryson Stotts, Jose Caballero, and the great Ellie De La Cruz in stolen bases over the last month. I believe that he was good for 20 stolen bags this season, but he's obviously going to smash that. His high K rate will suppress his production, but he's certainly going to be valuable enough to be rostered at the rate that he is going. Let's go to number 2. We got Taj Bradley, 47% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got a win, 16 strikeouts, a 5.25 ERA, and a .92 whip, and he took home 62% of the starters' votes this week. Bradley is clearly the best pitcher available on the waiver wire in more than half of leagues. And he proved it again today, pitching 5 shutout, 1-hit innings against the surprisingly good Royals offense. Although the league has been hitting his fastball well, he's adjusting and throwing his split finger pitch more, which has been his best put-away pitch so far this year. Get him now if you can. And finally, at number 1, we got Luis Matos, 54% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 6 runs scored, 2 homers, 18 runs batted in, and a .304 average, and he took home 58% of the outfielders' votes this week. Although it's ridiculous to expect another 5-game streak with 16 runs batted in, like Matos gave us when he got recalled on May 12th, he is a top prospect, and he is capable of producing for the Giants. Now, I don't see him staying at the top of the lineup, but he's got the tools to stick in a productive spot. Matos is oozing with potential, which makes him a great speculative pickup this week. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'm going to sign off for now, but I will catch you guys on the next episode.